Let me just tell you that back in the 1600s, they didn't know so much about sewage. So now, 400 years later, if you put one square too much toilet paper in the bowl and try to flush, you create a mini indoor tsunami. So that's it. That is my life in Genovia. Every other kid I know is spending his or her winter break in Aspen skiing or in Miami getting tanned. But me? What am I doing for my winter break? Well, here are the highlights from the new date book Grand-mère gave me for Christmas. What girl wouldn't love to get a date book for Christmas? Of what I have done so far. Sunday, December 21st, Royal Daily Schedule. Arrived in Genovia. Due to large bag full of Skittles consumed on flight over, almost barfed on official Genovian welcome committee who came to airport to greet me as I disembarked from the plane. 1 full day since I last saw Michael. Tried calling him at his grandparents' house in Boca Raton, where the Moscovitzes have gone for winter break, but no one answered, perhaps because of time difference, Genovia being 6 hours ahead of Florida. Monday, December 22nd, Royal Daily Schedule. While touring naval cruiser, the Prince Philippe tripped over anchor, accidentally knocking Admiral Pepin into the Genovian harbor. He was okay, though. They fished him out with a harpoon. But why am I the only one in this country who thinks pollution is an important issue? If people are going to dock their yachts in the Genovian harbor, they really ought to pay attention to what they are throwing overboard. I mean, porpoises get their noses stuck in those plastic six-pack holders all the time, and then they starve to death because they can't open their mouths to eat. All people have to do is snip the loops before they throw the holders out, and everything would be fine. Well, all right, not everything, since you shouldn't be throwing trash overboard in the first place. I simply cannot stand idly by while helpless sea creatures are being abused by a bunch of Bain de Soleil addicts in search of that perfect Saint-Tropez tan. 2 days since last saw Michael. Tried calling him twice. First time, no answer. Second time, Michael's grandmother answered and said I had just missed him as Michael had gone to the pharmacy to pick up his grandfather's prescription foot powder. That is so like him, always thinking of others before himself. Tuesday, December 23rd, Royal Daily Schedule. At breakfast with Genovian Olive Growers Association, mentioned unseasonable drought afflicting Mediterranean area must be the pits. No one seemed to think this joke particularly amusing, particularly members of Olive Growers Association. 3 days since last saw Michael. No time to call due to pit controversy. Wednesday, December 24th, Royal Daily Schedule. Gave televised Christmas Eve greeting to Genovian public. Strayed somewhat from prepared speech by mentioning amount of revenue generated in 5 boroughs of New York City by parking meters, and expressed belief that installing parking meters in Genovia would contribute greatly to national economy, while also discouraging cheapskate day trippers from venturing across our border. Still have no idea why Grand-mère was so mad about the whole thing. New York City parking meters are not hideously ugly blights on landscape. Most of the time I never even notice them at all. 4 days SLSM since last saw Michael. Thursday, December 25th, Christmas, Royal Daily Schedule. Spoke to Michael at last. Was finally able to get through to him. Conversation somewhat stilted, however, as my father, grandmother, and cousin Renee were all in room from which I was calling, and Michael's parents, grandparents, and sister were in room in which he received call. He asked me if I got anything good for Christmas, and I said, no, nothing but a date book and a scepter. What I wanted was a cell phone. Asked Michael if he got anything good for Hanukkah, and he said, no, nothing but a color printer, which is still better than what I got if you ask me. Although scepter excellent for pushing back cuticles. I am so relieved that Michael hasn't forgotten all about me. I know my boyfriend is vastly superior to all the other members of his species, guys I mean. But everyone knows that guys are like dogs. Their short-term memory is completely nil. You tell them your favorite fictional character is Xena, warrior princess, and next thing you know they are going on about how your favorite fictional character is Zika of Telemundo. Boys just don't know any better, on account of how their brains are too filled up with stuff about modems and Star Trek Voyager and Limp Bizkit and all. Michael is no exception to this rule. Oh, I know he is co-valedictorian of his class and got a perfect score on his SATs and was accepted early decision to one of the most prestigious universities in the country. But it took him about 5 million years to even admit he liked me, and that was only after I'd sent him all those anonymous love letters, which turned out to be not so anonymous because he fully knew it was me the whole time, thanks to all of my friends, including his little sister, having such exceptionally large mouths. But whatever. I'm just saying, 5 days is a long time to go without a word from your one true love. I mean, Tina Hakim Baba's boyfriend, Dave Farouk El-Abar, sometimes goes that long without calling her, and Tina always becomes convinced that Dave's met a girl who is better than she is. She even confronted him about it once, telling him that she loved him and that it hurt her when he didn't call, which only caused him not to call anymore, since Dave turns out to be commitment-phobic. It would be very easy for Michael to meet a girl who is better than me. I mean, there must be millions of girls out there who have things actually going for them, aside from being a princess, and who don't have to spend their holidays cooped up in a palace with their crazy grandma and her freakish, hairless toy poodle. And even though when Tina starts insisting Dave's dumping her, and we all go, "Oh, he's not," I think I'm starting to know how she feels. Talk to Mom and Mr. Giannini. They are both doing fine, though my mom still won't let the doctor tell her what it is she's having, a boy or a girl. Mom says she doesn't want to know, since if it's a boy she won't push due to not wanting to bring another Y-chromosomed oppressor into the world. Mr. G says that is just the hormones talking, but I'm not so sure. My mom can be pretty anti-Y chromosome when she puts her mind to it. They put Fat Louie up to the phone so I could wish him a Merry Christmas, and he growled with annoyance, so I know he is doing fine as well. 5. DSLSM. Friday, December 26, Royal Daily Schedule. Forced to watch father and cousin Renee play in charity golf tournament against Tiger Woods. Tiger won, no surprise, as Dad is middle-aged, and Prince Renee confessed to having attended grappa tasting party the night before. Only sport more boring than golf is polo. Going to be forced to watch Dad and cousin Renee play that next month. Although technically, anyway, Renee is barely even my cousin. He's like 1,100 times removed. And even though he is a prince, he is no longer allowed by Italian law to set foot in his native land due to the socialists running all the members of the Italian royal family out of town. Poor Renee's ancestral palace now belongs to a famous shoe designer who has turned it into a resort for wealthy Americans to come for the weekend and make their own pasta and drink 200-year-old balsamic vinegar. Renee doesn't seem to mind, though, because here in Genovia, everyone still calls him His Highness Prince Renee, and he has extended every privilege given a member of a royal household. Still, just because Renee is 4 years older than me and a prince and a freshman at some French business school doesn't mean he has the right to patronize me. I mean, I believe gambling is morally wrong, and the fact that Renee spends so many hours at the roulette wheel instead of utilizing his time in a more productive fashion irks me. I mentioned this to him. It just seems to me that Renee needs to realize there is more to life than racing around in his Alfa Romeo or swimming in the palace indoor pool wearing nothing but one of those little black Speedos, which are very stylish here in Europe. I asked my dad to please, for the love of all that is holy, stick to trunks, which, thankfully, he has. And, okay, Renee just laughed at me. But at least I can rest easy, knowing I have done everything I can to show one extremely self-absorbed prince the error of his profligate ways. 6 DSLSM. Saturday, December 27th, Royal Daily Schedule. The depressing day, as 25th anniversary of Grandpère's death. Had to hang wreath on grave, wear black veil, etc. Veil stuck to lip gloss, could not get it off by blowing, finally had to pull it off, causing hat to be swept by wind into Genovian harbor. Prince Renee fished it out with the help of some friendly topless sunbathers, but hat will clearly never be the same. 7 DSLSM. Sunday, December 28th, Royal Daily Schedule. Prince Renee was caught entertaining friendly, topless sunbathers in pool house. Major ballistics from my dad, who thinks at 18 Renee should be aware that he has a rep for being Prince William of the continent, minus the crown jewels, as Renee's side of the family have only name and not fortune to go with it anymore, and that those girls were only using him.